Complex tissue. Complex tissue is a plant pot. It composed with more number of different cells, but the complex tissue contains only one proper function. In simple way, complex tissue mean structurally different but functionally similar. Structurally different mean the complex tissue composed with more number of cells, but the more number of cells are having only proper function, only one proper function. Structurally different, functionally similar. In higher plants, like from pteridophyta to angiosperms, complex tissues are present. The complex tissues are mainly two types. They are present in the vascular tissue. They are present in the plant vascular tissue. They are xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem. Xylem carries water, dissolved nutrients to total parts of plant. Phloem carries product of photosynthesis, means starch or organic solutes. Xylem carries water, dissolved nutrients to upward direction, upward movement only. And the xylem cells are dead at maturity. Young xylem cells are having protoplast or cytoplasm, but matured xylem cells didn't have any cytoplasm. So that matured xylem cells are called dead cells, dead at maturity. And the phloem cells mainly helps in translocation of organic solutes of photosynthesis towards upward direction and downward direction. Upward and downward movements are present in the phloem. And phloem cells are live at maturity. Phloem cells are live at maturity. In xylem vessel elements, pitted cell wall, they look like a water pipeline, and tracheids are also pitted. In phloem, sieve tubes, perforated end walls, transport sugar, and companion cells are present. They are spiral cytoplasm to push sugar upward or downward direction. It is the main concept of a complex tissue. See, structurally different, functionally similar tissues are called complex tissue. There are two types, one is xylem, one is phloem. Now, we discussed here it is a xylem structure. Xylem present in the tracheophyta plants like pteridophyta, gymnosperms, dicotyledons, angiosperms. Xylem mainly helps in conduction of water, minerals to total parts of plant body. The xylem cells are mainly two types. One is primary xylem, second one is secondary xylem. Primary xylem present in young part of plant. The plant age below 1 year. If that plant containing any xylem, the xylem is called primary xylem. The primary xylem shows two types of xylem cells. Some primary xylem cells are large in size they called metaxylem. Some xylem cells are small in size, they called protoxylem. Metaxylem and protoxylem, these two xylem cells are belongs to primary xylem. Based on the presence of protoxylem, the primary xylem divided into three types in the young pods of plants. One is endark protoxylem. The endark protoxylem is also called centrifugal protoxylem. Endark protoxylem means the small size of primary xylem is called protoxylem. It present towards medullary region. It present towards center region of plant. So these type of protoxylem is called endark protoxylem. At the same time, metaxylem presented outside towards epidermal lesion. This type of endark protoxylem present in the all shoot anatomy. Second one is exarch protoxylem. Exarch protoxylem mean protoxylem present towards epidermal region. At the same time, metaxylem present towards center region of plant anatomy. Based on the presence of protoxylem, the protoxylem present towards outside means towards epidermal region is called exarch protoxylem, and it is also called centripetal with exarch protoxylem. This type of protoxylem, exarch protoxylem, present in all types of roots of Tracheophyta. And the third one is mesarch protoxylem. Protoxylem present at the center region and the protoxylem surrounded by metaxylems. So metaxylems are surrounded to protoxylem. Protoxylem present at the center region and the protoxylem surrounded by metaxylem. This type of primary xylem is called mesarch, mesarch protoxylem. It appeared in the gymnosperms of Cycadopsida class. From that Cycadopsida class, Cycas shoot anatomy. Cycas shoot anatomy containing mesarch protoxylem. So these are the three primary xylems in the plant anatomy. The next we discuss here it is secondary xylem. During the secondary growth from the cambium, new xylem cells are developed. The xylem cells are called secondary xylem cells. They are contains tracheids, vessels, fibers, parenchyma. These are present. These four major parts are present in higher plants. In lower plants, in lower Tracheophyta, vessels are absent. Only cells are present. Xylem cells are present. See, based on this structure, the secondary xylem composed with xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. If we identified in Pteridophyta, xylem vessels are absent. Only xylem cells are present. The xylem cells are small in size. They are present one above the other. They are also having lignified cell wall and they are mainly helps in transportation of water and minerals to total plant body of Pteridophyta. But in higher plants, the xylem cells replaced with the xylem vessel elements. The xylem vessel elements are also made with thick lignified cell wall. Below the cell wall, cytoplasm is present at the young age of the xylem cells, but adult stage of the xylem or at the matured stage, the xylem vessels are dead at maturity. And the xylem vessels containing pits. Pits mainly helps in exchange of water minerals between the two xylem vessels or tracheids. The tracheids are also similar to the vessels. They are also having thick lignified cell wall. They are also having cytoplasm inside and they are also dead at maturity. Xylem vessels, xylem tracheids mainly helps in conduction of water and minerals, dissolved minerals to total parts of plant body. At outside of these xylem tracheids vessels, ground tissues are present. The ground tissues are called xylem parenchyma. The xylem parenchyma is also called living cells. The containing protoplast with nucleus. They are filled with large quantity of the food material, storage food material. The storage food materials are supplies to tracheids or vessels. So tracheids and vessels need energy for the conduction of water and minerals. For the needed energy collected from the xylem parenchyma. Then outside of the xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers are present. The xylem fibers are large length. They are look like a sclerenchyma tissue. They are belongs to sclerenchyma tissue. They are mainly helps in mechanical support to the xylem. Mechanical support to the xylem. And parenchyma, xylem parenchyma also two types. One is ray parenchyma, tangential parenchyma. Ray and tangential parenchyma helps in storage of food material, and that food material supplies to the tracheids and vessels. The xylem fibers are also two types in the xylem. One is fiber tracheids and libriform fibers. Fiber tracheids containing bordered pits, libriform fibers containing simple pits. During the development of secondary growth, the xylem vessels surrounded by thick lignified cell wall. The thick lignified secondary cell wall, they are mainly helps in, means the thick lignified cell wall mainly helps in mechanical support to the xylem cells. During the formation of secondary cell wall, the secondary cell wall chemical like lignin is developed as a annular like structure or spiral like structure or ladder or scalary form like structure or irregular reticulate like structure. These formations of lignifieds chemicals helps in the mechanical support to the xylem vessels. It is the xylem structure and that function of the xylem.